Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reading Muichiro's Listener by me. So let's get into it. Perhaps it was wrong of you to assume that you could go out, meet a witch, and have things pan out quite nicely for you. Maybe you didn't think it well enough, or think at all, now that you actually get the opportunity to think of that. You and Muichiro decided to check out the witch who sells potions because people have been talking about her, and you doubted her existence, or more like doubted the efficiency of whatever she was selling. There was no way it was real. Maybe demons were, maybe that you could accept because you've seen them, but a witch? Potions? In this era? Absolutely not. You were not going to accept that. Waster had his own suspicions, of course, but he did not entirely doubt it. Not as much as you did. So, when you went to her, she cast a look at you before she smiled. You don't believe in magic, do you? And you tried to say something, paling a little bit. I mean, if she were to be a witch, wouldn't she hurt you for not believing in her magic? But she only chuckled. It's alright. Not everyone does. At least not at first. But I can prove myself to you. Now the two of you are partners, romantically speaking. Is that correct? Muichiro nodded. Quite impressed, but not very. But there was an aura about her. You could tell that much. A weird aura that you could not accurately describe. But he knew there was something to find here. Whether it be potions, or some witchcraft, or magic, whatever it may be, there was something. He just had to pinpoint exactly what was going to happen here, and what he would find. And she looked at you for a couple of moments, as if deciding what to do here, before she grinned again, passing you a bottle and putting some things in, before handing it to you. Not me, Tro, but to you specifically. Well, if you want to know how he feels about you, you could drink this potion. It would tell you everything. It will make you know every thought he's had. And it will make you know everything that you dream of. Well, you had many thoughts about Muichiro, that's for sure, but you never thought that you could get in his head. Sort of. And all of this suspiciously feels like a lie. You don't truly believe her. And that's primarily why you look at him, smile, and start drinking the potion that was handed to you. And that's when you realize you were very wrong. An overwhelming feeling settled in your chest. A feeling that was too much and too little, making your heart heavy and light. And you felt like there were too many things inside of you, too many feelings and too many thoughts that you could not process or put to words. Muichiro, if anything, he looked very nervous. He did not want you to know everything he thought. He did not want you to know his feelings because they were too strong, and he was afraid you wouldn't like them. But when you heard him in your mind saying how much he loved you, how he thought you were so beautiful, how he just wanted to have you for himself, and that would be all he wants, all he ever asks for, you couldn't help but cry. You hugged him tightly, and he stood there, completely frozen in place. Lion, what are you doing? He asked, not really sure how to deal with this. After all, he's quite caught off guard by your behavior, and by this entire situation. It was nothing that was usual, and nothing that he knew how to deal with. But most of all, he just had no idea how to react to the idea of you knowing his thoughts, and to the idea of you crying at them. Was it because you liked him, or did you hate them so much that you were crying now? He had too many questions, and he doubted that any of them would be answered anytime soon. Ryan, please. You'll be okay. You don't need to panic. He was panicking. No, it was not you. But what was he supposed to do? He couldn't even imagine the idea of someone knowing what he thinks, and now you know everything that he feels about you. You know that he loves you. That's for sure. But he doubted you knew how much. And he's scared of the feeling that he feels for you, being too much and too overwhelming for you to like. You love me that much? He nodded. After all, there was no point in lying now. So you just hugged him tighter, kissing him so softly and so sweetly. And I love you too. I love you so much, Muichiro. You have no idea what I feel for you and what I want. You're everything for me. I wish I could tell you, so you would know what I'm feeling too. He just smiled at you, relief settling within his chest, and all the panic slowly melting away. Because you wanted this. You loved this. And a part of you seemed to like those feelings of his, even if they were too much. Too much to handle and too much to understand. But still, they were his feelings nonetheless, and he had to live with them. But he didn't. And yet, he seemed to accept them, to love them. And that made his heart melt in multiple ways. Nothing made him feel more loved until this very moment where he discovered that love could be also living someone's mind and their heart. And he kissed you, sweetly, guarding a hand through your hair as he looked at you, fond and quite endeared, really, by the way you were crying and hugging him. Well, I guess the two of us are fools then, because I love you so much, and I know you love me too now. You didn't always know that? That's not what I meant, I'm just saying. I'm glad that you love me and my thoughts too, my feelings. And he smiled, leaning in to kiss his cheek. And perhaps magic was not a lie after all. Maybe the witch was right. And maybe her potions were not all bad. So, you do apologize, because that's the least you could do for her.